So from the edges of the neckline, I will measure 7 inches plus half of an inch of seam allowance. Okay, then from this point I will measure 1 inch upwards. So now I will be opening from the edges of the neckline downward, and I will stop on the 1 inch point I measured upward. So you can see I'm holding the front panel alone, the front together with the front cape. So then I'll open it up at the center. Then I'll take my straight ruler and draw a triangular shape from the point I stopped the cutting to the 7.5 inches I measured downward. So with this I have just half of an inch. So from the center, 0.25 to this side and 0.25 to this side. So the measurement for this triangle is half of an inch. So now I will be holding the 2 pieces together again. Then I will cut this following the shape. So that is a triangular shape. Okay, then I will have it like so. You can see what I have. So guys, after opening up the center front, the next step is to attach the placket. I have my placket pieces cut out here. As you can see, this is the smaller one and this is the bigger one. The measurement I used in cutting out the smaller placket is 1.25. The 1.25 is together with the seam allowance. The real measurement of the smaller placket is 0.75, and I added half of an inch, which makes it 1.25. So while cutting this, I folded my, as you can see, I have this on fold. So the measurement was taken on fold. If I open it up, I will have 2.5 inches. Then I fused the wrong side of my fabric, and I gave it a very good press. Then on the other hand, the bigger placket, the length I used in cutting this out is 9 inches. I took the measurement from the 1 inch point of my measuring tape. So here I have 10, so that means I have 9 inches for the length of the smaller placket. And for the bigger placket, the length has to do with the length of the cape you are using. When you take the measurement on the wearer, whatever you use for the length of your cape, what you will use in cutting out the placket will be 1.5 or 2 inches longer than the cape. So you don't have a specific measurement for this, no standard measurement for the bigger side of your placket. As for me, the length of my placket here is 13 inches, and what I have here has to be more than 13 inches because the placket is going to be below the cape. The placket has to stop below the cape. And for the wideness of my placket, I have 2 inches in total together with the seam allowance. Seam allowance is half of an inch, so which means the wideness of my placket will be 1.5 inches on fold, and I fused the wrong side as well. So I will start by attaching the smaller side of my placket. The smaller placket is going to be on the right side of the garment. So this is the right side of my own garment, while this is the left hand side. The bigger placket is going to be on the left hand side, while this is going to be here. So this will cover up the smaller placket. Then I'll open up the smaller placket. As I told you, I cut this on fold. I will open it up like so. Then the right side of the placket facing the wrong side of my garment. As you can see, I'm holding the 2 pieces together. So that is the bodice and the cape. like so, and I will make this above the neckline point. You can see. So the edges of the placket is above the neckline area. So I will hold it together with my sewing pin like this. Then I will stitch with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. So I will pin the edges together until I get to the 7 inches point. So that is where the triangular shape stops. Okay, so this is the smaller side of the placket of our Cape Elder Brother Sutana. So this is what I have on the right side. So I will take this to my sewing machine and I will start stitching from the neckline point with 1/2 inch of seam allowance, and I will stop on the point I stopped cutting, which is here. So after stitching, I will apply a top stitch. So let's assume I've stitched this with my sewing pin, because after stitching I will have it exactly like this. Then I will open it up. The seam allowance will be facing the inside of the placket like this. Then I will open it up and apply a top stitch on the wrong side. I will top stitch downward and stop on the cut point. So after top stitching, the seam allowance will relax properly on the placket like so. Then the remaining part of the placket will cover up the seam allowance like this. Then I will fold in 1/2 inch this way and apply an edge stitches. So this is how I will continue folding in my 1/2 inch like so. Okay, so I will fold this until I get to the cut point I have on the lower part. So that is the point I will be stopping as well, so which is here, so which is this point. So when I get to the cut point, and I'll stop. So guys, I will be taking this to my sewing machine now. Firstly, I will join this together like so. After joining, I will make my seam allowance relax on the placket. I will apply a top stitch on the wrong side. Then I will cover this up like so, folding the edges by 1/2 inch and apply an edge stitches. So when I'm done with this, I will be back to show you the next step. So now I have the smaller placket attached, as you can see. So this is what I have on the wrong side, and on the right side I have this, and this is the little piece I have underneath the opening point. So now it's time to attach the bigger placket. In attaching the bigger placket, this is going to be done the same way I did the smaller side. That is the right side of the placket facing the wrong side of our garment. So as you can see, I'm holding the two pieces together, that is the cape and the bodice. Then I will be attaching the piece of placket. So I will pin this and stop on the opening point. Then I will stitch with 1/2 inch of seam allowance. So just the way I constructed the smaller placket. After stitching, then I will have to top stitch on the wrong side like so. So the seam allowance is going to be relaxing on the inside of the placket, and I will apply a top stitch. After top stitching, then I will fold this over to cover up the seam allowance. Then I will finish the edges with 1/2 inch as well, and I will apply an edge stitch. So please, at each point of the construction, you have to be giving your garment a very good press, because anything that has to do with male outfits, pressing is very important. you can see what I have. So I will apply an S stitches all the way down, and I will stop on the opening point. So I'll go to my sewing machine now, and I will construct the bigger placket, after which I'll come back and show you the next step. I'm back, guys, and as you can see, I have the bigger placket attached. So here is the wrong side and this is the right side. So the next step is to finish the lower part of the placket. At this point, I will need to take this to my ironing board and give it a press in order to finish the lower part. So firstly, I will be folding in the remaining seam allowance I have here. I will fold this inward like so. So that is the part I did not stitch. So I will fold this inward and give it a press. Then the second piece of the placket, I will make it cover this up like this. Then use the remaining seam allowance to wrap it to the wrong side. I will wrap it backward like so. I will place it like this, then give it a press. Okay, so after giving it a press, I will have it laying flat on the garment like this. So the stitches I have on the bigger plackets, I stopped at the point where the opening stops, which is here. So here is the smaller placket. So I will make sure the smaller placket is laying flat underneath the bigger placket. So I will cover it up like so. Then I will close this up from here. So I will just run a stitches across the lower part of the bigger placket like this. So that is after giving it a press. I will press this. I will make the smaller placket, I will align it properly underneath the bigger placket. I will cover this up like so. Then I will run a stitches in order to hold the two plackets together. So if I close it here, so every other stitches I have here will not be open. So the opening will be from the neckline to the point I closed below the bigger placket. Then I will have it like this. So the excess I have below the smaller placket will not be showing as well. So when I'm done with this, I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have this properly pressed, as you can see. So this is the placket, this is the bigger side covering the smaller placket. So I've not closed this part because I want to have a smooth stitches from here downward to the tip of my placket. So I will take this to my sewing machine. Now you have to pay a closer attention at this point. I will take this back to my sewing machine now, and I will start the stitches from the point I stopped earlier, which is here. Then I will cross this. After crossing this, I will hold this down properly. Then I will continue stitching. This part will be stitched down as well, okay, downward to the tip of my placket. So when I get to this point, I'm going to give this a kind of V shape like this. I will fold it like this, and I will make sure the tip of the placket falls at the center of the Sutana bodice, which is the part I marked out. So I marked this so that you guys will see it clearly. So this point must fall on the center. So I will hold it down like this. Again, I will start stitching from the point I stopped. I will cross it here. I will stitch this downward following this shape. I will cross it here. I will take it here. Then I will take it up back to where I started, and the locking is going to stop on this point, which is the cross here. So that is the final finishing for the placket. After doing this, I'll be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have the lower part of my placket finished properly and neatly, as you can see. So this is the lower part. As you can see, the tip falls at the center of the bodice, and this is the upper part. So with the part I closed here, so this is the opening that the wearer will use in putting the garment on and off. As far as this video is concerned, we are done with the construction of our cape elder brother sutana. So all I need to do is just to attach the collar around this place. If you know how to make a brother sutana, you will know we are done with the cape elder brother sutana, because every other steps left here are for brother sutana. So once again, if you don't know how to make a brother sutana, check the description area below for the link to the tutorial. So I'll go ahead and attach the collar around the neckline, after which I will pin this on my mannequin for you guys to see the final look. So thank you guys for staying with me to the end of this video. Make sure you try yours and feel free to drop your questions in case of any challenge. Also, do not forget to check out the external links I've provided in the description area, as this will further help in making your cape elder brother sutana. Thank you once again, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, always do remember, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs.